Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys. Before I go back to work, guys, unfortunately, but before I do that, guys, I will be talking about a fragrance that a lot of y'all have really requested for me to do. Really, a lot of people wanted me to give some clarification, give some light regarding all the buzz and all the hype regarding this fragrance. Mostly clarification, guys. And so today, that's what I'll give you guys. I'm sure you guys have seen the title, so I can't wait to hack this fragrance for y'all today. Let's get it. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, okay? Liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel, especially that we are headed towards 22,000 subscribers, guys. Please continue to support the channel, guys. I mean, your likes, your subscriptions, and your comments, and your great comments to me really fuel me to continue to do this, guys, and give you exactly what you want. So please continue to support the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And the fragrance that we will be talking about today is none other than Maison Crivelli Oud Maracuja. Yes, Oud Maracuja right here, guys. And oh man, what can I say about this one? First off, it's an oud fragrance, and man, the hype on this one is fever pitch right now. You know, this alongside Lumari Porthole, I think these are the two most demanded for me to do. These are not new fragrances, but right now it's catching all the hype, guys. And I want to thank the person that sent this. I mean, the company that sent this, obviously, Venba Fragrances. That's under my boy Kushik. Venba Fragrances, they are one of the best discounters in the game. They have, I would say, most of the fragrances. I think anybody that's starting in this game, that's really just trying to catch up with all the really good stuff, well, they have it, guys, okay? So all you gotta do is go to the link below, go to Venba and experience and enjoy their discounted prices, including this one, Oud Maracuja, guys, okay? So what is up with this fragrance, Oud Maracuja? Okay, Maracuja is basically passion fruit. All right, so it's basically oud passion fruit. That's what its name is. And this fragrance, for me, one of the big reasons why I wanted to review this, and I'm sure a lot of people are wanting to clarify, is because the name Ombre Nomad is brought into this mix. Okay, there's a lot of info, a lot of people saying that this fragrance smells like Ombre Nomad, the legendary Louis Vuitton mainstream beloved animalic saffron rose fragrance, guys, okay? So I cannot wait to tell you guys what I got on this one. Let's go spray this thing right now. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this much hyped fragrance in a no hype manner. Again, this is Maison Crivelli's Oud Maracuja, guys. I've run out of my sample. It's done, okay? I've been wearing this. Now, right here in the opening is where it's at least for me. I liked the opening of Oud Maracuja, and you guys know I'm into impactful openings, all right? I don't want to get impressed in the dry down, all right? So right here in the opening is where it's at. You've got the following notes. You've got passion fruit, of course. That's after the name of this fragrance, Oud Maracuja. But also you're going to get rose. You're going to get saffron. You're going to get leather here as well. And they all kind of commingle together, guys, okay? Now let's talk about the passion fruit. Okay, passion fruit is a tropical note. I would say it's kind of like a tropical grapefruit, and that is what greets you in the beginning of this fragrance. And this acts like, I could say, like the lingering sparkling citrus in any fragrance where you have a deep backdrop of leather, of oud, of rose, and with those fragrance notes on the backdrop, the passion fruit, which is predominant in the first part of this fragrance, is our lingering, sparkling part. The tropical fruit, passion fruit, is here. And I would say it is one of the loveliest parts of this fragrance. Now, as this passion fruit lingers around, sparkling, and again, predominant, it is not weak whatsoever, I would say that the mid layer of this fragrance is going to be your rose and saffron, guys. All right? It's going to be rose and saffron. Now, there is a difference, a big difference with this one versus your other rose saffron oud fragrances that maybe you've tried in the past, because the rose here in Oud Maracuja is actually the fruity, jammy kind, all right? And it is complementary to that passion fruit. Okay, so instead of being like a dark Bulgarian rose that's kind of like a fade to black, no, the rose right here is the fruity, jammy kind that again provides that second layer of fruitiness with that tropical passion fruit. So when you do smell this, yes, there's rose, but it doesn't feel like a dark contrast to what's going on. So again, very good intro, very impactful because of the passion fruit, but now also reinforced by a fruity, jammy rose. Okay, now let's talk about the saffron. Now, make no mistake, this fragrance is a leather scent. However, right now, in the beginning of this fragrance, I would say up to the 20-minute mark, there is no leather yet. However, there is saffron to kind of soften the blow, to kind of give you a preview of that leather. Now, usually if you have rose and saffron, the saffron is kind of like a spice. It's more of a spicy, sweet saffron in other Middle Eastern scents. But in this case, guys, the saffron is more on the leathery side that does set up the actual leather that comes out, I would say, 20 minutes into this fragrance, all right? Okay, so now let's talk about the oud in Oud Maracuja as well, because the oud slowly creeps up, I would say, in this opening as well. It's part of the mid, but it slowly creeps up in the opening. Now, the oud in this fragrance is a non-animalic oud. Matter of fact, it's more of like a suede leather oud. And for those that are familiar with oud fragrances and Middle Eastern fragrances, you guys know that the suede leathery oud is the type that is used in a lot of their gent scent, macho scents. And that really makes sense in this composition because you add that, you add leather, you add a leathery saffron, and then you get the sparkling passion fruit, guys, which takes the place of citrus and in some cases raspberry. I'll talk about that in a minute, guys. But because you have a base of suede and leather, basically, this makes this fragrance a total Middle Eastern gent scent. And now I understand why it's also famous in the mainstream, because this is very gentlemanly. You know, I think about a guy with like a beard, you know, kind of like really well built with a beard, maybe a CEO or somebody that's trying to smell upscale. I mean, this will definitely make you smell upscale, guys, but I would say this is one of those Middle Eastern gent scents just by the blend of that leathery oud in the back, and then you have those mid-tier like rose and saffron, and then sparkling passion fruit at the top, guys. Now, as I've said earlier, this is not uncommon, all right? This is not uncommon. I've seen this done in many, many Middle Eastern fragrances that maybe a lot of y'all don't know about, but the formula usually is the leathery oud with some rose, but then instead of passion fruit, they actually put raspberry. Okay, that is actually the common note that's placed in this type of formula: raspberry, leather, and leathery oud, guys. Now, in this case, guys, again, it is tropical passion fruit. And I think this is the new trend because I believe Lumari Porthole has a very dominant passion fruit. So passion fruit is really likable. It's a nice grapefruit-like, tropical-like type of scent. And I think you guys will quite enjoy this, especially that you have kind of like the suedey, comforting like rose saffron to soften the blow into the black leather eventually. I think it is a nice intro. Okay, so now let's go into the mid of Maison Crivelli's Oud Maracuja. Now, before I get into that, let's talk about coverage, because I'm sure a lot of y'all want to know about that. How long does the passion fruit last? Because it's named after this fragrance, guys, okay? Now, the passion fruit does last up to 1 hour. And if the leather comes in 20 minutes into this fragrance, guys, then you know that the passion fruit and the rose, these are going to be your sweet balancers for this black like leather. And I'm not a big fan of black leather, guys, but it is, like I said, a common like Middle Eastern formula where you have black leather, suede leather oud, saffron, rose. fruits in the beginning, guys. So it's a common formula to me. So I'm used to it. I'm okay with it because usually they put balancers, and your balancers are going to be passion fruit and rose right into this mix, guys. Now, in the hour, once the hour starts and the passion fruit goes away, maybe there's still a little bit of rose in there, guys. The balancer now in the mid is going to be your amber. All right, so amber is, to me, one of the most dominant notes in the mid. It is your sweet honeyed amber, and the strength is definitely on par with the rose and passion fruit combination. The amber right here sweetens this mid because you have a very macho backbone of leather, actual black leather, and your oud, your suede leathery oud together, guys. All right, so you have that, and then one of the other balancers, which is a common conclusion to rose, is going to be your tenacious patchouli, guys. All right, so there's gonna be a prominent patch as well, prominent patch note here, as well as your amber. So amber patch together in the mid, again, to balance everything that's going on with the oud and the leather being right here in the mid. I think it is quite nice. I mean, to me, as long as there was an amber right there to balance all the sweetness, it's all good. It's a nice mid right here. Okay, now let's talk about initial sillage and projection. All right, first part into the mid. And let me tell you guys that this fragrance is subtle strong. Okay, I'm sure you didn't even hear the sprays from this little sample vial, but man, this thing is room filling. All right, this one comes with a very strong scent trail, primarily because of, you know, notes of oud, because of the notes of leather, the notes of the saffron and the rose. It's pretty powerful, but not in an invasive way, and that is really nice. I mean, I felt like, yo, this is gonna compete in the Middle East, yo, because it is a room-conquering scent. However, like I said, very subtle, very graceful in how it does it. So if you want kind of like a beast mode without really having, you know, the beast in there, kind of like cloaked together in an invisible cloak, then this is one of those in terms of performance, guys. All right, and the thing is too is that the passion fruit, to me, like I said, was really predominant as well. It was very likable, very sparkling, and, you know, felt lingering around me, guys. And I thought it was strong as well in the beginning. So the initial sillage and projection of this is really nice. I really thought about the Middle East as I was wearing this, and I was like, man, even on the scorching hot weather of the Middle East, I feel like this is it. This is nice. I mean, even with such notes of leather and oud, but then the passion fruit was really lingering strong. You had like the rose, the jammy rose. So I felt like this would be great even for Dubai scorching heat type of weather. Okay, guys, now let's go into the dry down of Maison Crivelli Oud Maracuja, guys. Now, the dry down really starts within, I would say, 6 to 6.5 hours when the amber kind of goes into labdanum, which is also amber. It's just that it's more of a leathery gradient type amber. This whole dry down is a fade to black, all right, which means, to me, uninteresting. You know, it's not as interesting as the first and second parts of this fragrance. I mean, there's really nothing much here because a lot of the base notes of the dry down have already come up. You've already smelled a lot of these base notes, oud, leather, they're all in there. And really, it's just a fade to black, headed to, you know, earthy, kind of subtle sweet type of dry down there with your labdanum, slight vanilla, a lot of, there's akigala wood, which is basically patchouli and wood. So it's kind of like woody and earthy right here, heading towards the dry down. Now, the strength of this dry down is kind of like a weaker lingering scent. And so this fragrance, guys, I would say the strongest parts really are up to maybe 10 hours of actual strength. It's super strength in the beginning, but then it settles down eventually with the amber. Still strong, but I would say, you know, the latter dry down, 10 hours and forward, is kind of headed into more of like a skin scent, guys. All right, that's what I can say regarding the performance of this. Now, what can I say about this fragrance? First thing I'll say, guys, get Ombre Nomad out of my mouth. All right, guys, this is not related to Ombre Nomad whatsoever. Holy bejeez, like, no, it is not. Oh my God. Like, this is not related at all. Ombre Nomad, you can go back to my super old video, guys, Ombre Nomad, the reason why a lot of people love it is because it is really one of the greatest intros into animalic oud, all right? Which is, you might say it's a 50-50, but because Ombre Nomad has, you know, saffron and rose, like all together with oud, I think it has incense as well. Because of all those things, it just makes animalic oud a perfect try. You know, you try it, and some people that felt they were never in love with it start falling in love with it. It's very similar to what happened to me in Dubai when I first got my hit of that animalic oud with rose and saffron. All right, I fell in love with it even if I had no idea what it was. I fell in love with it right then and there. This is a totally different formula. Guys, again, you are going to have black leather here. The oud is leather suede. And also, the rose here is more of the fruity, jammy kind to complement the fruity top of this fragrance. So, in no way is this related to Ombre Nomad. And I feel like Ombre Nomad is more of like an invasive type of fragrance compared to this one, which subtly, you know, romantically seduces the room. There's a difference here. However, what I will say is that they're both macho. They're both for guys. They're both gent scent types of fragrances that I feel like you can really wear this in the Middle East. Now, is this fragrance wearable in the West? In my opinion, it can. You might just get some snide remarks here and there, but because of the passion fruit and the rose and the amber balancers, I feel like you can actually wear this as well. Middle East or anywhere that you can safely wear oud, no doubt you can wear this. I think it's a great grabber even in the summery months. I know a lot of people wear oud there even in the scorching heat. I feel like though this, because of the passion fruit, the rose and the amber, really makes for a great summer oud fragrance in the Middle East, no doubt, guys. So this is really a fragrance of its own. Don't bring Ombre Nomad into this. Whoever is bringing that in is an attention-seeking liar, because no, it does not relate at all to Ombre Nomad. This one is its own fragrance. It's its own common Middle Eastern formula, guys, but it does pull it off for me. I think that the mainstream will enjoy that intro to mid. It's a really nice intro to oud as well. This type of formula of oud and leather, guys, all right? So again, is not related to Ombre Nomad, guys. And ultimately for me, I think it's a nice buy. You just have to try it. For those that want to get into oud from the mainstream and you want to know what all the hype is about, Venba is selling a sample just like this. Go to Venba on the link below, guys. Help the channel out and buy yourself a sample from Kushik, all right? And if not, if you're going to really try the full bottle, I've already explained as much as I can what you can expect if you're more familiar with oud leather scents with fruity blankets, then definitely you might want to just try this, or if you want to buy a full bottle. But definitely the best price, unless it's like used, is with Kushik in Venba below. So please make sure to purchase from Kushik on Venba below, guys. All right. So total performance, let's talk about that. Total performance to me was 12 hours. However, like I said, past 10, it was kind of like this lingering, weaker scent, but it goes above that. I think the earthiness of that Akigala wood, basically woods and patchouli, goes all the way past 12. All right. So it is kind of long lasting to that degree, guys. But in terms of prominence, I really feel like it was up to 10 to me. The prominent scent that really you could remember before it got into a gradient, I think is 10 hours, but 12 hours plus is a total performance, guys. Now, let's talk about the price. So, Oud Maracuja full bottle, 100 ml is about $289, all right, which is competitive with those other types of oud fragrances, oud leather fragrances with a fruity touch. I feel like the last one I tried was Fragrance du Bois. I don't remember the name, but it was a Fragrance du Bois fragrance that was probably more expensive than this one, and it had the same type of feel. But anyways, $289 for me, full bottle worthy, should be okay as long as you love this fragrance. And again, this could be an oud summer wear for those that are really, really into oud. Gentlemanly, macho, it had a gent scent feel, but again, usable, of course, fall, winter because of the leather and oud and suede and labdanum. But again, also because it's got this summery feel with that passion fruit, the rose being nice as well, fruity and jammy, the amber. That is, to me, the highlight right there, that it could be worn in the high heat in the Middle East. That's what I think, guys. All right. So really great fragrance, guys. Again, please give it its credit, irrespective, like without Ombre Nomad, okay? I mean, this could be famous on its own, all right? You don't need Ombre Nomad. I mean, if you really want Ombre Nomad, get Ombre Nomad or Adi in Dubai. I recorded that video, Scorpion Intense, or get a clone if you really want that. But it's its own thing, all right? This is its own deal as well. That is my no hype review on Maison Crivelli Oud Maracuja. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this fragrance right here. I'm sure at this point, a lot of y'all have already tried and worn and bought this fragrance, blind bought this fragrance. I would love to know if you guys thought that this was anything related to Ombre Nomad, or if you are enjoying this on its own, that it's its own man, it's its own thing. Let me know on the comments below. I'm very curious to know what you guys thought. But anyways, I had to do this before porthole because I'm going back to work. This is the only time I can wear this, and the room is going to be filled with this. So my wife is going to come in here in about 10 minutes to turn on all the candles, and because this again is a room conqueror. So I had to do this, guys. All right. So again, porthole is next. I had to do Oud Maracuja. You guys wanted it. So again, thank you very much for watching. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys when I return from work. God bless. Take care. Peace.